All right, here we go. Today we're going to make you up one of the old things we used to eat on the ranch years ago, and it's still a very nutritious type of meal, and doesn't cost much money. You can feed a lot of people with it. Let me show you how we're going to do it here. First of all, you need a big black iron skillet, or you can just use a skillet. We need about 2 tablespoons of good old oil will do, or you can, if you're not afraid of the cholesterol, you can use lard if you want to. That's what the Mexicans and people down on the border used to use, because they didn't have all this fancy stuff that we've got now. I'm happen to use a little bit of Crisco today. We're just going to wet the bottom of the pan here, and then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me up an onion here. Let's just cut up an onion real quick. Here, let me get that out of the way. Just take off both ends of it like that. Just take your knife and score it just on that first ring, see? And just pull that first ring off, because that ring it's kind of tough anyhow. You don't need that. Okay, now what we do is we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this onion up into fairly fine pieces. And we're just going to cut it this way first. And after we get it cut down like this, let me get the second one here for you real quick. Watch me start crying here. I've never whipped that problem yet with onions. I keep trying, but I haven't whipped it yet. Okay. Now we take those and we'll just kind of mince them up a little bit like that. And I don't have my scraper today. I can't find the scraper. It must be in the dirty dishes. I haven't done my dishes yet today. All right, I'll just go ahead and we'll use the knife. I don't like to use the knife because, you know, you can cut yourself using the knife for this type of thing. That's pretty good like that. You don't need them real fine. Now let's just go ahead and get those right on in here. Let them start to brown just a little bit. We want to get them kind of translucent is what we want, not thoroughly cooked. And then, of course, on onions you want to be a little bit careful because you can, you can burn them. And when you burn them, then they're going to be a bitter taste. Okay? Now, here we go. There's our onion in there. Now, this kind of a meal, like I say, you can feed a whole bunch of people with it. You know, everybody kind of dips it out of a big pot, and you can serve it on all kinds of things. You can serve it on potatoes. You can serve it on rice. I like to use the rice once in a while, and or on toast, just plain old toast. Now, I know some of the young guys out there weren't raised on this kind of stuff. Probably this doesn't sound too good for them, but don't judge it yet. You want to try it first, okay? What we're going to do is I'll just go ahead and brown these down a little bit. Now, what we're going to do is this just is plain old corned beef, canned corned beef, okay? And, you got to take this thing and open up the can first and take the top off of it. And let's see if we can get that out of there. There it comes. All one nice big piece for me. And we just take this. Well, how much does that weigh? It should be on there somewhere. I probably took it off. I forget what these things do weigh right now. Here it is, right here. That should tell me. No, it doesn't either. Anyhow, that's the standard type of thing. They come from Brazil and Argentina and so forth. Now, what we're going to need to do here, we've got to get this into finer pieces. So I'm just going to cut it down like this first. Like that. And then, the more this cooks, the more it's going to come apart on you anyhow. We'll just cut it down this way, the other direction. Like that. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to, let's check these onions. Yeah, the onions look okay here. Okay, that's coming along good. That's about right, about translucent. Just going to put these in. Just put these pieces right in there. Now, this is an old ranch dish. So a lot of you young people probably don't know too much about this. I know my granddaughter, the first time I fed it to her, she wasn't really thoroughly impressed until she ate it. And she had to admit that it's pretty darn good food. And it's nutritious, got almost everything in it that you're going to need. Now we're going to let this cook up for just a little. I'm going to break this up just a little bit more here. Just break up the pieces a little bit more. I didn't get them really cut quite fine enough. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of leche to it, or milk. And we can turn the fire up just a little bit, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of leche or milk to it, like that. Then we're going to have to put in some spices. Now, of course, in some of the places probably in the Midwest and so forth, where they probably have been able to eat this, they, maybe they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to put too many spices in it. But you know us. We always use lots of spices, okay? Now, I see right now that I misplaced my white pepper. So I'm going to have to use black pepper today. Now, the reason why you use white pepper, of course, is that white pepper doesn't show. And a lot of people don't say they don't like pepper, but you use the white pepper, and they'll never know the difference, and it's got a great flavor. Today I'm going to have to use plain old black pepper, and we're going to put in there just about a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I'm going to put in, where's my garlic salt here? I know I've got garlic salt someplace. Let me find it here. Well, that's not it either. What did I do with it? I must have hid it someplace. Well, I'll find it here in just a minute. But we got to have a little bit of garlic salt in there. And then I'm going to give it just a little kicker. You know me, I've got to have a little kicker in it. So I'm going to put in just a little bit of, this is the ground, red chilies that you can buy in the store. And it's fairly hot, so maybe you don't want to use too much of it, but it does give it a good flavor. I'm going to put in there just about, as Grandma would say, 3 or 4 shakes. I don't cook that way, but Grandma sure used to cook that way. There it is. There's my garlic salt sitting right in front of me. Been a snake, it bit me. Okay, we'll put a little bit of garlic salt in there. Now, remember, salt it to your own taste. Don't try to measure salt. Salt to your own taste, because you can't get it out. Once it's in there, it's in there. All right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to just stir this around, let it cook a little bit, bring it up to a boil just a little bit here. And what else do I have to put in there? I've got my black, I've got the, all right, I've got the, I'm going to put in just a little bit of comino. Just going to hit it with just a little. Now, this is a Mexican spice. You don't have to use this one if you don't want to, but it does give it a good flavor, I think. Just a little comino, maybe a little 1/8 of a teaspoon of the comino. It gives it a nice smell. Comino has a very good fragrance. And as it begins to cook, you can see that now that it's beginning to cook just a little bit, it begins to break down. You know, the pieces begin to get a little bit finer in there. I think I've got almost everything in here now. Let's see. You could use a little more salt if you wanted to, but remember, just plain salt. But, you know, if you put that in there, you can't get it out. So do that last. And if you have, just taste it. And if it tastes salty enough for you, that's good enough. You know how much salt you want to use in your own diet. Now, what I'm going to have to do here is find something that I can mix up a little roux with. All right, this should do it. This is just plain old flour. That's all this is here. And what haven't I dirtied up here? Well, I guess I'll just have to do it in this. Well, I'll just take the old can and we'll do it in the can. Going to take about, I'll take 2 tablespoons of just plain old flour, okay? Now, you can either use milk or you can use, water. I've got the milk here today, so I'm going to go ahead and use the milk in it. And all I'm going to do is make me a nice roux. Now, you want to be careful when you're making up a roux with water, Now, you don't have to be too careful when you're doing it with oil, because the oil you don't have the problems with. But with the water, sometimes you can end up with dumplings. We're going to add this to the gravy, and we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be back in about a minute. Don't go away. Smells good already.
When they rode into town, folks tried to gun them down, but the gunfighters always were prepared. They survived by their speed, killing first became the creed, but the gunfighters' code was holsters.
Howdy, partners. This is your old friend Chili Bill with my good buddies here, Juan Baracho and George Gabby Hayes Jr. We just took those falls for you a minute ago, telling you that no Hollywood magic is in this. Western know-how that makes Chili Bill's chili, the authentic, bring-you-back-to-life bowl of red made with lean beef and my own championship chili blend. A real palate pleaser. Why don't you give it a try? Well, let's see. I guess I better eat. Oh, there's only one bowl here?
We're back. Well, we're going to try to make up a good old-fashioned lemon pie for you today. Now, I know you can go out to the store and buy one that's frozen or whatever. Let me show you how to make one from scratch. You can try it yourself next time. I think you'll like it. It's got a great flavor to it, and you can add, what you want to it. If you want it a little more tart, then you can, of course, go ahead and do that. First of all, we got a double boiler right over here. And I'm going to take the lid off of that, and we're going to add to the double broiler, we're going to put in, let's see, what's it say we got to put in? We got to put in 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch, just plain old cornstarch, just like that. 1/4 of a cup cornstarch, 1/2 cup of sugar, and the salt. And the salt, again, you do your own trick on your salt. And what do we need on the salt? 1/4 of a teaspoon. This is a teaspoon. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. All right. Now to that, we have to add some moisture to it, and we're going to put in a cup and a half of water. What happened to my water? There it is. 1.5 cups of water. 1 cup and 1/2 of a cup. There we go. Now what we have to do is we have to let this cook just a little bit. Stir it around just a little bit here. And you have to let this begin to firm up. And let's see, let me check my recipe over here. Just see here. Yeah, I don't know, okay. And we have to stir pretty consistently, or it'll stick on you, Okay, so we want to make sure that we do stir that just a little bit. And then to that, the next thing we do is we add our, hold on just a minute, this is a long recipe. Grandma wrote this for me, and I put it in my cookbook, so it is a little bit long. And to that, then we're going to need to put in 3 egg yolks. I've got them separated over here right now. And the cup of sugar we've already put in, so that's fine. We've got the cup of sugar in there, and we need the 3 egg yolks. And then this has to be cooked until it becomes, it begins to firm up. Now, this is not an easy recipe to do, but I think you'll get a big kick out of making your own lemon pie. And of course, you can top it, either with the meringue, or you can kind of cheat a little bit. We're going to kind of cheat today and do it a little bit differently for you. But you can use the lemon meringue, make it a lemon meringue pie by making your own meringue out of the 3 yolks that we've separated here, okay? Now what we do here is, I don't have my fire up high enough on, there we go. Now we got it. All right, now what we got here is, let's go over it again. Right now we've got 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. We've got 1/2 cup of sugar, and we've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and we've got 1 1/2 cup of water. Okay? Now, to that, let's just assume that this is already firmed up on us. It hasn't firmed up on us yet, so we need a little bit more time. We need about 10 minutes on that to firm it up. But it is getting a little thicker right now. To that, what we're going to do is we're going to add our, let me get over here again, and we're going to add our 3 egg yolks. And, yeah, that's it. And we're going to need to cook it for about another 2 minutes after we add the egg yolks. So let's put the egg yolks in, and I've whipped them up for you here. We'll put those egg yolks right on in there, like that. And of course the egg, you know, also firms it up. You know, it's congeals it. And we'll put that in there like that. We can get rid of this right now. Get that over here. Give it a stir. Oh yeah, we're going now. It's beginning to come along real well now, and it'll begin to, you want to mix it up real good, you know, here. All right? Now, after we've got that, we've got to put in a little bit of margarine, or you can put in some oil if you want to. Today we'll just go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of the of this Crisco that I've got left here. I don't have much, so I'm just going to put in a little bit here. There we go. You can use butter in it. You know, down on the ranch they didn't have any margarine in those days, so you probably could use butter if you want to. Keep away from the fat like I do. Now, now it's beginning to firm up on us. Okay, we got to keep cooking that thing, because when it starts firming up, it firms up. Now, what happens now is when this begins to really firm up on us, then we have to take it off the fire and let it set for just a little bit. Let's go back to our gravy here that we've got. And let's just kind of run over that gravy one more time for you that we made up. It's in the back one here, in the back burner. And what we got in that, we've got 1 can. That's your normal can you get of the corned beef, and I wish I could find that darn weight on that thing. I know it's on there somewhere, but I sure can't find it. I guess I just flat tore it off, or it probably went, when I did the key, it probably went right in the key. But I'm not sure what they are, to tell you the truth, but it's a standard size can. Now, you can make your roux a little differently here if you want to. You know, you could take your roux and mix it with your oil, or your flour, and mix it with your oil and make your roux at the beginning if you want to. Now, after we get this firmed up like this, whoops, uh-oh, Brooks, there we go. Now it's beginning to go. Really firming up fast on us now. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to put in the lemon juice, and here we've got, how much lemon juice? 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. Okay, and we've got 1 1/2 teaspoons of lemon rind. You know, you just finely grated lemon rind, or you can chop it if you want to. Okay, make sure that that's mixed in there real well. We'll get back to the gravy here in just a second. This is just about ready to come off. Just about ready to come off. It's just pretty thick. Now it's beginning to firm up. Okay, let's go back to our gravy here real quick. And so what we had, we put in 1 large onion, finely chopped. After we have our roux, if you want to make your roux first, that's fine. After you have that, then you add your corned beef, your can of corned beef, 1 nice onion all chopped up, your garlic salt, your pepper. I prefer the white. I just didn't happen to have it today. And then kind of salt it to your own taste. I put a little bit of comino in it just to give it a little bit of that western flavor. Plus, I put in, what else? I put in a little bit of the fire plug, you know, the ground chili. Okay, this lemon pie mixture is just about ready to come off the fire. Just give me about another 20 seconds here, and we'll just take this off the fire. There it is. It's all firmed up on us now. And I'm going to take it off the fire. I'll just turn the fire down on it. Okay, fire's down on it. Now, I happen to have it, and I broke it. Oh well, that's all right. we have a, I cooked this one. Of course, this wasn't from scratch. I bought it in the store and then baked it. You know how you do. You put it in the oven, bake it up. And this is, my grandma wouldn't like this. She liked to make hers from scratch. But what we do here is we just take, after our mixture has set for a few minutes and really firmed up real well, let's make sure we got everything in it. I think we've got everything in it. Yeah, we've got everything in it. Then you take the mixture and you pour it into a pie pan, a pre-cooked pie pan, okay? Just like that. Ooh, that smells good. That does smell delicious. There we go. Okay. And then you want to give it a shake around, you know. You're going to have to shake it around in there just a little bit and get it all down. There we go. Get it up against the edges like, see what I did back here. Broke off. Oh, tastes pretty good. Now, we're going to take another break. We'll be right back. We're going to finish off the gravy, and I'm going to show you how we're going to cheat on the pie. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, we're going to finish this up for you. Now, like I told you, we're going to cheat just a little bit. I'm using some plain old Cool Whip today. Okay? All I'm going to do is I'm going to top off this lemon pie with the Cool Whip. Get it all peeked around there. There we go. Just put some nice peaks on it if you can. There we go. Now what we're going to do, oh, that looked pretty good there. Let's get that right out of the way over here now. And let's build this gravy for you. We're going to put it on bread. Okay? Here we go. I'm just going to cut, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into, you know, like that. Then I'm just going to set them in here, make them look kind of nice, like that. And we're going to put our gravy up on top of them. Real quick, we're out of time. I'm going to put that like that. We're going to put our gravy up on top of it, like that. And I tell you, you want a good meal. Lemon pie from scratch, corned beef, gravy, on toast, or if you want it on potatoes, so forth, a little bit of garnish, maybe a side vegetable, you got a good meal. We've run out of time. See you next time. Adios.